What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about SwiftCoin today. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, okay? Here we are, sitting at about 2.27 cents right now, looking like you do want to move higher. It seems to me as though you are slowly creeping out of this consolidation phase, right? You're moving down, lower highs, lower lows, and now you're starting to turn that beat around a little bit. It looks like you want to move higher. You're doing things a little bit differently than you have throughout this kind of whole phase up. And I want to point that out first and foremost, right? So if you look here, you had your initial phase up, whatever, you consolidated, and then once you came to your end of your consolidation, you ripped. You ripped real hard, right? Here, same thing, consolidated. Once you came to the end of your consolidation, you ripped really hard. Here, I would say you came to the end of your consolidation, but now you're not ripping hard. That's not a bad thing. Maybe it just means that this isn't the end of your consolidation. Maybe this was not the end of it. Maybe you're still in a larger kind of phase of consolidation, of which we don't have a definitive shape on yet. You know, maybe it's something like this, and you haven't broken out of it yet. And essentially, once you get above prices that'd be at about 2.5 cents. You're at 2.27 cents now on a 4-hour basis. If you get above 2.5 cents, perhaps that could trigger an explosive move up that would take you to new relative highs, new all-time highs. I don't know. It's hard to say. These last kind of consolidation phases, they might not have been as obvious at the moment right here that you were going to break out, but after the breakout, it was very obvious that you were separated from your consolidation phase. So I'm curious to see what happens. I have the feeling from a 4-hour perspective, it's going to be either today or tomorrow likely that we make a move. If not, we could be in some kind of larger consolidation phase. Maybe it's a horizontal shape. I don't know. I'm not necessarily, I should say I am expecting a breakout move. I think it is going to come. I think this next phase up is going to come, but I'm not necessarily going to be upset if it doesn't come, if it just consolidates, right? Because that's also possible. And I don't expect it to happen, but it is possible. If we look at the RSI, you look at the 4-hour RSI, you've got relative lower lows here in the RSI with relative higher lows in the price. It's hidden bullish divergence. Not only that, but you're finding support here at previous areas of resistance there. Very bullish, very healthy, productive behavior, right? Previous areas of resistance becoming previous or current areas of support. It's good productive behavior, that's for sure. Solid structure. So I would think that you are moving up just from these metrics alone. And then also your overall 4-hour RSI does have a nice kind of higher low, higher high uptrend. To me, it seems you're bouncing off the 50 area and you're going to get overbought again. Potentially you see readings just like this. Potentially it's stronger. Even if it's slightly weaker, you should get a nice move up because you're coming from pretty strong areas and you've been consistently getting in those areas. So I anticipate that the next move, if we look at this from a high to a low, this move took us to the 1886200 area. This one high to low took us to the 2272. You stopped at the 18862. If you sold there, you still would have killed it, but went above the 2272 to be fair. And oftentimes, you know, on waves, like if you got a 1, 2, 3, the third wave is the biggest. So if this is your 5th wave, it might be a little smaller. Just throwing that out there. 1 to the low, high to the low. You know, if you were to go to the 1886 this time or higher, you went above the 2272 last time. The first time you went above the 1886. That's 7.5 to 10 cents, my friends, or even above that. You never know maybe we could use this logic too, right? Here was a move. Here was a bigger move. Here was a bigger move. Maybe we get an even bigger move. And if that's the case, we're definitely going to see prices above 10 cents. You probably go all the way up to 13 cents if that's the case. From what I'm seeing so far, I'm not anticipating that. In fact, from what I'm seeing so far, it actually would suggest that we see a weaker move than what we saw last time, but not a weak move. It's still taking you to new all-time highs. You're not going to stop anywhere less than like 6.1 cents. Like my genuine minimum expectation would be the golden ratio, the 6.1 cent. And that's because based off of what you've done so far, your minimum target has been the 1886200 level. And then the last time you hit the 2272 and just above that. So certainly 6.1 cents, that's my minimum expectation. Just because I'm saying this next move will be smaller than your last does not mean it's going to be anything short of spectacular. But if we look from a low, relative low there on the 26th of January to the relative high here, again, we're on the 4-hour time frame, okay? You put this down here to this low, this relative low here. You know, that takes you right up to about your 1618 actually. But that's the move. It is the move. A little bit of rethinking there then maybe, huh? Maybe it does make sense to go to about 6.1 cents, or maybe it would make more sense that this move is stronger than the last move. Couple of things to think about there. That's okay though. We're going to figure it out, right? We're going to figure this out. 164%. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see that, right? I definitely don't think we're going to see that. I would expect 6 cents. I stand by it 6.1 cents or more, but that would imply then potentially a stronger move. It depends on how you want to look at it, because this move actually started right here at this low, right? Whereas our move, I wouldn't say it's actually starting at this low here. It's starting, I say our move, I mean this current move. I would say it hasn't even started yet, right? So we'll see, right? It's like I wouldn't measure this move from a low to a high. I wouldn't measure it from this low over here. I'd measure it from where the move actually began. I wouldn't measure this move's low to high from this low over here. I'd measure it from where the move began. So I think it'd make more sense to measure it from around here. And if we did take that low and we saw a smaller move than the last one, then it would make sense. 6.1, I feel very confident that 6.1 cents is an attainable target. I'm just less confident now, I suppose, that 10 cents or 7.5 cents is a acceptable target in the very near term. By the end of February, by the end of March, certainly you could be above these targets, but I'm just talking about for your next move. We're on the 4-hour time frame. This is like end of the week stuff, you guys. End of this week. End of the first week of February. So this is very near term, within the next 10 days kind of expectation stuff, right? And probably even like within the next 3 or 4 days, 5 days, something like that, right? It's going to happen very soon. Let's try and make sense out of this in other ways. Okay, so we've got 6 cents, 6.1 cents as a minimum, 10 cents as the given maximum. Let's run with that for now and keep going. Okay, so we take this here, high to low here. The way that you're at here, how you're consolidating, I would think that not only do you go to the 2272, but you probably break above it. The next target would be the 2618, and that's at 6.2 cents, making that 6 to 6.5 cent area seem a little bit more possible, isn't it? And then if you were to go above this, I very much doubt you would exceed these targets. And hey, 10 cents being that maximum kind of target, again, 9.8 cents there. So that doesn't help us too much, does it? Same minimum targets, same maximum targets. The technical minimum target here would be 4.5 cents, but I don't think so, man. I really don't think so. I think that you 6.2. If anything, this raised the minimum target, but it lowered the maximum target, but just barely on both accounts. So that doesn't really help too much. And then this high to low, this is what we got the last time, wasn't it? Yeah. This is that. Let's see if we can find something else that might help us too. Okay, we'll keep going. Keep going here. And yes, the weekly, you do have bearish divergence on your RSI, you do. But if this week closes green, here's another thing actually, before we get going. By the way, SwiftCoin holders, be fully aware of this, okay? Be fully aware of this. If the week closes red, all of my upside targets are still on the table. They're going to happen. But first, you're going to go down to 1.1 cents, okay? Instead of in the next 10 days moving up, over the next 10 days, you're going to consolidate. If this week in the next 3 days and 15 hours closes red, even a little bit red, I don't care if it's 0.5%, if it closes red and not green, you're going to touch this line before you move higher, or likely even go below that line before moving higher, okay? Just so you're aware. So close this week green. You're down 15%. That's a lot for most cryptos, but hey, man, this thing can move up 15% in an hour. You know, it definitely can. So that's a goal. Just remember that, okay? 3 days, 15 hours by the end of this week. Everything I say bullish goes out the window. Likely it goes out the window. And I make an update. I will make updates as I always do every single day. I might not make an update on this every single day, but I make updates every day. And if there's something worth updating on the day, I will keep you guys informed. I promise you I will, especially on the weekly close. But if it closes red and you don't see my videos, you don't have time for my videos, if I'm sick, if I die, whatever happens, just know likely you probably will move down to like 1.1 cents, something like that, right? That's my expectation. If you close green, the bearish divergence goes away, then you're moving up higher, okay? And likely this is just an incomplete move and you're going higher. But let's get back to the task at hand here, okay? So we took that high to low, made sense out of 6.3 cents. Why does it keep getting higher? 6.3 to 10 cents. Maybe I didn't have it on the right price before. Whatever. That's fine. 6.3 is the given minimum. 10 cents because that's definitely I'm measuring from the right place. I think I took the wrong low last time. I didn't take the right low. My bad, guys. That's the right low. So that just moves. That actually moves up. The maximum target stays the same at 10 cents. Minimum target's at 6.35 cents. And I very much do believe that we would see that, right? I don't think we stop at 6.1 cents. I think that we would see at least this. I think that has more weight to it than the small retracement here. But high to low, let's make sense out of it here. High to low here. Again, that 2272 is the next target, but with bouncing off the 1618, I almost always assume you go to the 2618, 7.8 cents. These targets are making more and more sense to the upside above 6 cents. I don't know. Maybe my theory was wrong in the beginning. Maybe this next move is bigger than the last move. Maybe it's 1, 2, 3, and the fifth wave. Maybe the fifth wave is bigger than the third wave. That happens too. The fifth wave can be bigger. It definitely can be. And then overall, we're looking at it like this, right? Really, you've got one move up here, consolidation, two moves up here, consolidation. You could do this. I mean, if you were to do the same thing that you did this time, from a low to a high, relative low to high, that's 398%. You did the same thing you did this time, low to high, that's 572%. Something in between. And again, this is kind of what makes me believe we could consolidate more. That's what I started the video with. Again, guys, we could consolidate more. That's what we were just talking about. If the week closes red, we could consolidate more. Be prepared for that, okay? Don't get your feelings hurt if this doesn't happen today. It's going to happen by the end of February. It's going to happen by the end of March. Don't be upset if it doesn't happen by the end of today or by the end of this week. Something around 398% would take you above 8 cents. If you were to hit the minimum targets, that's around 266. I feel like that's a doable, acceptable kind of range, but that makes it a little bit of a smaller move to finish this off, but that's okay, whatever. Something like that. I feel like above 6 cents is very plausible at this point. And then even, yeah, 10 cents, I don't think you see a stronger move than this, especially if you consolidate for less time than what you had here. So I'm not even going to bother really measuring up to that, right? I don't think you get above 10 cents, but the more that I keep trying in this video to find things that agree with prices outside of our range, we just find more congruence in that range. So I don't know what else to say. I think I'm running out of things to say. The daily RSI looks very bullish, bouncing off this overbought zone. In fact, you did the same thing last time, right? You got overbought, came out of it, and then got overbought again. Got overbought, came out of it. You're about to get overbought again. What did you do that last time? Right, that was this. That was this. You had a little move up, consolidated for a few days, and then a big move up, and then you consolidated for a long time. And maybe that's what you're going to do for February. Maybe that's what you do. Maybe you have a little move up, and you consolidate for a long time relative to this, right? How big was that move relative to this? Low to high. 214%. I mean, man, I just genuinely, and I think it'll be stronger, right? Because again, this move, if this move was 261% coming from a little move like this is coming from a way bigger move. I suspect you'll see more than that. And if you see more than that, your minimum target is like 6 cents. I think you will not just see 6 cents, but probably prices above 7 cents. Reaching for 10 cents, maybe. But I don't think you get above there. Certainly above 6 cents, probably above 7 cents or 8 cents even. We'll go from there. I think you're moving up. I do suspect that you probably will be at these targets, if not by the end of this week now, which has 3 days left in it, 3 days and 15 hours, so about 3.5 days left. If not by the end of this week, then by the end of next week, or probably the very beginning of next week. But I do have a strong feeling that you probably will, if not be at the completion of this move by the end of this week, you'll have already kicked it off, potentially being at new all-time highs, and the next week you'll finish the move sometime early in the week, and then begin to consolidate from there. I hope that all makes sense. I hope you guys took something away from this and got some value out of it. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I feel like there was one last thing I wanted to say, and I can't remember what it was. Just be patient, okay? Be patient. Things don't have to happen overnight. SwiftCoin is at a very long journey, my friends. It's had a very long journey, and it's finally showing life, right? It's just getting started. A coin like this has 100x potential, 200x potential. A coin like this, truthfully, has 1000x potential. It really does. And maybe not this cycle, but maybe over time, maybe this cycle. There are always coins every cycle that do 1000x or more. There's already been coins this cycle that exist with that. This coin has existed since 2017, 2018. It's been around for a while. Okay, it's been very stable for a very long time. Worth $91 million, you guys. To get to a $9 billion market cap, that's 100x. To get to a $91 billion market cap, that is no small feat from 91 million. But for a coin that's existed for several cycles like this one, $100 billion market cap is something it could achieve in time. Maybe not by the end of the cycle, maybe, but in time. And a $90 billion market cap is a 1,000x from the current price, assuming the supply doesn't get diluted or anything like that, right? And even then, 90 billion, this thing could see higher than that. This thing, I think, in time, if it sets out to be everything that it wants to be, if it sees the utilization that it's literally setting up for, it could definitely see hundreds of billions of dollars in time. So is this a 1,000x project? It might be, out of all the coins I talk about, it might be the only one that has an actual chance of seeing a 1,000x over the next 2 cycles, if not even this cycle, right? I say out of all the coins I talk about. Maybe there's some others, but out of all the coins I talk about regularly over the last couple weeks, right? And probably going forward for the next couple weeks. We'll see. Things change, right? Whatever's pumping the most tends to be what you guys want to hear about anyways. So, but I like to talk about my bags too. SwiftCoin is not a coin that I hold. I'm rambling at this point, but it's not a coin that I hold. But it is one of those coins that I wish I held. I had my eyes on for a long time and I never bought. But by the time that this got on my radar, I kind of already had my bag set up with everything else, so whatever. But that doesn't mean that the TA is any diluted, right? I'll end the video on that note, right? People, if I was calling for SwiftCoin to do 1,000x and SwiftCoin was my biggest bag, or I had 25% of my portfolio in SwiftCoin, they'd say, you just want to say that because it's pumping, or because it's your bags and it would pump your bags. That's why you want to say that. But then I say I don't own any SwiftCoin, and people are like, you don't own any SwiftCoin? You're just doing this for likes. You're just doing this for clicks. No, I'm doing it because you guys requested it. I do requests, right? That's why we're doing it. And you probably requested it because it's pumping. And we talked about it before it pumped. We talked about it before it pumped here, and we talked about it there too, right? Doesn't matter if I hold it or if I don't hold it. People are just going to be unhappy anyways, right? I'm either biased if I do hold it, or I'm not credible if I don't hold it, right? The reason why I don't hold it is because a lot of the coins that I do hold, I've been holding for over a year. I'll get long-term capital gains, right? I don't know if Donald Trump exempts them or not, so I want to keep those long-term capital gains. I'm not trying to move money from coins that I've been holding into new coins. If I get any new money soon, I would probably, SwiftCoin is definitely on the docket. It's on, I've got my targets set. It's in the crosshairs, man. It really is. But if it moves up from here, if I don't get an investment in SwiftCoin now, essentially, if it moves up from here, if it goes to 6 cents or more, I probably won't invest in it. But does that mean that I shouldn't talk about it? Does that mean that I can't do technical analysis? No, I can do plenty of technical analysis on this thing, man. So anyways, hit the like button, you guys. Subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy. Bye-bye.